Thank you so much. I really appreciate joining everyone here. It's a pleasure to be with you all virtually today, and I hope everyone is staying safe during these unprecedented times. Before we start, I'd like to also join you in taking a moment to acknowledge that I'm a guest on the traditional territories of the Algonquin peoples, and that all the virtual participants gathered today are doing so on many sacred lands and traditional territories. A big thank you to United Way Centraide Canada for organizing this event today and for the really important work that you're doing to support Canadians throughout this COVID-19 pandemic. Un grand merci à Centraide Canada pour l'organisation de cet événement et pour le travail important que vous faites pour soutenir les Canadiens pendant la pandémie. We're all feeling the strain of this pandemic, but we know that it is even more difficult for our most marginalized and vulnerable Canadians and the organizations that aim to help them. They're all under stress, and we're always mindful that charities and nonprofit organizations are also on the front lines of combating this pandemic and assisting the most vulnerable during this difficult time. Service delivery, volunteer engagement, and fundraising have all been impacted by this pandemic, making it really difficult to reach those in need. And the needs have gone up. My One of the food banks in my constituency of York Southwestern, when I visited them in July of this year, they told me that their numbers had gone up by almost 200%. So you see the need rising while the pressure and the donations are decreasing. But thanks to the innovation of these charities and nonprofit organizations, the hard work and the commitment of their staff and volunteers, charitable organizations are continuing to support marginalized and vulnerable Canadians so that they can stay safe during this pandemic. In many cases, charities and nonprofit organizations are acting as lifelines for Canadian families, for seniors, and for persons with disabilities. So thank you for the very, very important work that you do every single day to help the most vulnerable in our communities. Our government is committed to helping community organizations serve marginalized Canadians during the COVID-19 pandemic. That is why we've invested $350 million in an emergency community support fund to help organizations serving the most vulnerable through the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. These funds will help charities and nonprofit organizations to adapt their frontline services and to better serve Canadians in need. Which brings me to the reason we are here today. I would like to highlight one of the many important programs funded through the Emergency Community Support Fund. And this is the 211 telephone line and the online directory. This really important service helps to connect Canadians with essential community and social resources in their own neighborhoods. Every year, 211 connects over 2 million Canadians with the help that they need the most. With the ongoing pandemic, 211 service is more important than ever. That is why our federal government is proud to support the expansion of this great service across the country from coast to coast to coast. The Emergency Community Support Fund will help 211 hire more staff, keep up to date with shifting local data for the social and community services sector, and expand their network nationwide. I would like to congratulate the United Way Centraide Canada and their partners for championing this important initiative and for ensuring that all Canadians can find the services that they need. Stay safe, everyone, and look out for each other. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Merci beaucoup, tout le monde.